to revisit the story about more oil marketing firms expected to shut down their operations in a couple of weeks as a result of high cost of operations. Now, some operators took a hit last year due to the rising cost of operations and regulatory requirements. Joining me via Zoom is the Executive Secretary of the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, COPEC Ghana, Duncan Amoah. Grateful you could join us, Duncan. First of all, what do you make of the development, the fact that oil marketing firms are facing imminent shutdown due to rising cost of operations?
Well, this reinforces our earlier held understanding that indeed it is not just the end user or the consumer that is reeling under pressure. Somewhere we had also put out that indeed we might get to a point where financing for most of the BDCs and the OMCs could become a challenge. Let me put it in proper perspective. If I needed 10 USD to include 300 ton at now, that prices have doubled, will probably be a double of that amount. Now, what that will mean further is that if I had to go take a facility of 10 million USD to bring in 3,000 or 1,000 metric, the fact that prices double and I still need to pay suppliers for same volumes of importation, I would need a lot more financing-wise in order to be able to sustain operations. I do not know what concessions our commercial bank may likely give the oil marketing companies and the BDCs in order to keep them in business. But you and I know are quite high, and that would eventually hit their margins in a corresponding increase. And so if I needed to invest, say, 20 million Ghana cedi to make a net revenue of, say, 200,000 Ghana cedi, and today I need 40 million Ghana cedi to still get 200,000 Ghana cedi, taken into cognizance the fact that everything else has gone up, including their own cost of operations, then it is anticipated that these oil marketing companies and the BDCs would be reeling under a lot of pressures within this period. And so, whilst the BOG is trying what it can to make dollars available to the BDCs, financing also for the oil marketing companies should be a thing that we put on the front burner immediately, because clearly a lot of them, if you speak to them, also reeling under a lot of pressures compounded from financing costs variability as a result of increases in these prices.
So tell us, from the consumer perspective, should we be worried? Because some of these firms on the verge of collapse offered perfect market competition. There are fears of a heightening cartel if a solution does not come in handy.
We would recommend that some of them do not wait to go down under completely. You could have a situation where you would have acquisitions come in, you could have mergers come in, you could have 2-3 of them come together, pool resources so that economies of scale could also be something that would work for them. For a country this small, having over 150 oil marketing companies, LPG, OMCs, and all of that is quite a huge number. We think that for the local companies, if some of them could come together or pitch resources together, they could still be viable, they could still be able to sustain their operations in the face of these steep economic challenges that confronts them.
But in terms of regulations, can anything be done to salvage the situation?
You probably are looking for a situation where policy would be fine-tuned in order to save some of them. Out there in the United States, companies are allowed to file for bankruptcy and insolvency and all of that. I do not know what our laws specifically detail. But again, if you have a local company that probably employs over 100, indigenous Ghanaians, provide for whatever that they can to also add to taxes to the country. Then the country would also owe them a duty in times like these to go to their rescue. And so we'll be happy that probably the managers of our finance in the country would carve out a certain policy that even allows the oil marketing companies and the BDCs to assess financing at reduced interest rates such that their cost of operations would not over exceed their margins that they currently recoup from each liter they put on the market.
Right, right. So finally, we're also learning that transport fares could potentially go up by 10% later this week. How do you welcome this?
It is disturbing. It is unfortunate. It is something that we would wish, we take a second look at again. But you see, the fundamentals continue to work against the transport operators. And so I have a lot of sympathies for them. If you wake up in one window alone, the one we just entered, some prices have gone up by as much as 1 cedi, in some instances 1 cedi, 20 pesos per liter for diesel and petrol. Then you are probably looking at a situation where a lot of them will be reeling under a lot of pressure. We would wish that maybe they go up, but significantly lower than the 10% that they are currently considering. It should be staggered. It should be probably not slapped in the face of the commuter, at a go. We recently had these increases done in transport fares. If they could stagger it, do some 5% here, 3% there, maybe people would be able to also adjust instead of the figures that we hear.
Thank you so much, Duncan Amoah. Duncan Amoah is the Executive Secretary of the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, that's COPEC Ghana.